Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Today's vlog is going to be quite different, actually. I thought it'd be really interesting for people who are curious about living in Vietnam and specifically Hanoi, what it's like from the voices of other actual expats that live here. So Keenan and I are traveling around. We're not necessarily expats, but we see so many expats around, and we wanted to ask them what life is like, what are the biggest pros, cons, culture shocks living in Hanoi, Vietnam. And one thing specifically I wanted to cover is different perspectives of different kinds of people who are here, whether they be teachers or digital nomads or they have families. So you'll see a wide variety of perspectives, and I hope you guys love this vlog.
Well, my name is Mohammed Samir. I come from Egypt. It's in North Africa, mainly from Alexandria. And I was born in 1995. I'm going through my 31st year. And I have been living in Vietnam, mainly Hanoi, for 4 years. 1 year in Da Nang and 1 year in Haiphong.
I am from Scotland, from the Highlands of Scotland, and I've been here for 2.5 weeks.
I'm from Turkey. I've been here for more than 4 years now.
In Hanoi?
I'm mostly in Hanoi. I also lived in the countryside for a year, but mostly in Hanoi, yeah.
I mean, I'm from Singapore. I came here actually 5 years ago, and I was a trailing spouse. My husband had a job, and I came with him. I had a child then, and COVID hit. We left quite quickly, but now this is my second time round, and the same. He has a job, and I came in, so I'm just a trailing spouse. But this time I have 2 kids.
Well, I've been teaching in Vietnam for 6 years. I started on an exchange group that I came from Egypt through. And I came as a volunteer to teach in kindergarten. And after that, they gave me a contract.
I do visual effects on films sometimes. I do video edits for YouTubes or commercials, some graphic design. Literally anything that I can use a computer for, I will use it to try and make money.
So you would consider
I'm a hustler. That's what I would consider myself, a hustler.
I teach English here. As a Turkish speaker, I teach English here, yeah.
Okay, so how long have you been doing that?
Since I came here, almost for 3 years, yeah.
You enjoy it?
Partly, I will say so, yeah. I enjoy it here.
Did you have any experience before in teaching?
I graduated when it was a COVID time. So I was just sitting at home looking for some new options. I had a friend who was living here, who was living in Vietnam, and she suggested me that a teaching in Vietnam is a thing. Then I made some research, and that was the reason how I actually had an idea about Vietnam.
Tell me what the biggest pros about living in Vietnam.
Well, I'll start first with the freedom that you get, that you can try new things out of your comfort zone. And definitely getting in touch with the locals, try to immerse yourself in the culture, because in my opinion, Vietnam has a really interesting culture.
Yeah, for sure.
And I really love celebrating with the locals, like the parade and Tet holiday and all of that stuff.
So you feel like the locals would welcome you in?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
This country is welcoming everyone as long as you just, at least you show them the respect that they deserve.
Right.
I mean, cost of living is one of it gives you a very good form of of life, a very comfortable life here. You are able to afford quite a number of things that you will not be able to. I guess it might be a luxury in your home. For me, a nanny, hiring a nanny is much easier. It's much cheaper. It's something that you can do very easily, and you could get that help.
I would say, maybe it's gonna be a cliche, but I will say the people, because when you go out in Vietnam, in Hanoi, maybe many people won't notice that if they have never been to the city. But when you go out, you will see that many people are friendly. They want to help you even if you don't speak the language. When you go out, whatever you want to do, there will be people for you. And you go out, maybe every street has its own character. I don't know, I like exploring. I like going to new places. I think that's true for everyone, at least for many people. But I would say, and also at the same time, cost of living is quite low, and that's a good advantage too. So I will say Look at you, bro.
What's good? What's good? Period.
I would say people here are quite warm. Yeah, they're very warm. But I guess the language is something that but they do try.
Yes.
They still try. They and I like that about it.
Yeah.
It's very different from a few other places that we've been in. But this is I would say that's the strong
Yeah.
point.
Maybe,
for sure.
do you think because people in Vietnam are very open to foreigners and they're very warm to foreigners, that's why expat communities have flourished here?
To be honest, I think why they flourish is also because Vietnam is growing, and so there's more opportunities.
Okay.
And so companies are moving quite a number of their offices
I
here.
haven't been here as much, but what are so far the biggest pros living in Hanoi?
I don't have constant anxiety about my finances, and I don't want that to come off across as like obviously I'm very privileged to be able to come and live in a country where things are cheaper.
Yeah.
Even though I'm still spending the same amount of money as I would be if I was living in Europe, but I'm just I'm able to go out and I'm able to spend that money eating in a cafe or a restaurant rather than just buying groceries, because it's kind of coming out about the same amount of money.
I will say that if you are living as an expat, you will have a comfortable life. You will get what you want, but these things are only valid if you are living here for a long time. For me, I've been living here for 4 years. So life is super easy, super chill. As I mentioned before, cost of living is really low. You just go to a cafe and you just get your coffee for just $1. So I think it's a big difference compared to any other Western countries.
What about in terms of cost of living? Could we talk about not necessarily you, but what is the average cost for rent?
Okay, so it depends on the location, right? And typically, if you want just a single bed, it could be as cheap as $200 a month,
Right.
depending on the location. And when I say 200, it's not shabby or it could be really nice.
Yes.
Yeah, depending on just the and it doesn't mean you're outskirts where you're with the farm or something. No, it's just not really in the middle of things.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it could be as cheap as 200. It could, and if you're in a very expensive area that's known where embassies are, it could be as high as 20,000-30,000 per month. So USD.
20,000-30,000?
Yes.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
20,000 US dollars
Yep.
for one bed.
Not a one bed.
Okay.
Not a one bed for a house. Yeah. But
And that's rent. That's not owning.
that's renting.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
And that's usually diplomats. They tend to charge things like that. And you could get something similar in a different place for maybe $1,000. For 5 bedroom.
Would you say are the biggest cons about living in Vietnam as an expat?
Well, I would say the air pollution. The air pollution is a big problem here. By the time you get used to it,
Yeah.
but while coping with the air pollution, you get non-stop coughing and you feel
Yeah.
like your eyes are itchy.
Yeah. It's
Some-
affected me and my hair and my skin a lot.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I remember 2 years ago, I got an asthma
Did you?
and I get chest tightness, so I had to go to the hospital and I just inhaled some oxygen. And then I had to take some medicine, and currently I'm wearing the mask all the time, but sadly it's not enough.
Okay.
So another tip as well, it's good that you asked me that question, that you need to invest in air purifier, I think, yeah.
But I guess the main concern as a parent is the air quality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you read, we are currently the worst in the world.
No way.
Yeah. Even compared to India, we're the worst in the world.
Hanoi is the worst in the world, even compared to Chinese cities.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
We are the worst in the world.
I will say, maybe for the first comers especially, I will say the traffic and the communication, because unfortunately many Vietnamese people don't speak English, and it might get a bit challenging to speak and to communicate with people, the local people here. But still, they're patient and they want to help. But still, it can be a bit tricky.
Hanoi is like a megalopolis. Is that a word? Like a huge city?
Metropolis.
But it's even bigger than that in my mind. It's like a mega metropolis, let's say. So, like, because I come from the Highlands of Scotland, I grew up in a village of like 500 people.
Oh yeah.
I'm used to like getting on a bike and like cycling for 4 hours and not seeing a single person.
Oh my god.
And I love forests and I love quiet. I love silence. And Hanoi is like a big bustling city.
What is the biggest difference being in Egypt, like from your Egyptian culture versus Vietnamese culture, that like you found as a culture shock here, specifically like Egyptian?
Well, I would say the food. That's the first thing, because people in Egypt are having totally different cooking approaches. So back home, we prefer to use the oven most of the time. We like to add a lot of spices on our food.
Yeah.
We like our food to be well done most of the time if you cook meat or chicken.
Yep.
Although here in Vietnam, sometimes people don't add salt even to the rice, it's just plain rice.
Yes, it is plain.
And something else that there is a big number of Vietnamese dishes are soup-based, which is in Egypt considered to be like an appetizer or a side dish, not a main meal.
Right.
And definitely the amount of food that Egyptians eat compared to Vietnamese.
I agree.
Because, yeah, like back home, people have kind of like a feast and it's just a normal day, you know?
Yes.
But here, I would say people care a lot about their appearance, their body. Well, I haven't lived in Egypt for about 6 years.
Yeah.
Like I go on holidays or something, but I haven't lived for a long time, within the last 6 years.
Wow.
So I don't know if people are tending to go to the gym lately or something, but since day one, when I came here 6 years ago, people go running early morning. When I was in Da Nang, I was literally shocked that old people wake up around 4 in the morning and they go swimming, literally.
No way.
In the middle of the winter.
Go to sleep at?
No, literally. Like I woke up and I'm going to school and they're just running and they're very old. So,
old.
yeah, literally.
They're very old.
And that was a shock for me, that they have the ability and the flexibility to do such stuff that it made me like kind of embarrassed. And to be like, think of myself as a couch potato.
My biggest culture shock of Vietnam has been walking into the city centre, walking around random streets and what were like small alleyways. Women sitting at like the front steps of their house, laying out kind of like a shop of like crabs and fish in bags, and just seeing people, like seeing how people live. Some people's homes are just like these tiny little concrete rooms. There's just a lot of like trash. It seems like everybody had just accumulated as much stuff as they can and tried to create a shop from it. It's like I would walk past these like, you know, like these open front houses where we're just like piled to the ceiling of like random bits of metal and car wheels. And I'm assuming they're just doing that because they're trying to make a living. They're just like selling whatever they can to whoever they can. So that was quite a shock to see just my life compared with that.
Yeah.
It's like I live a very cushy existence compared with some of the people that live here. And I should be way more grateful for what I have.
Coming to Hanoi, you know, it was really a shock because I mean, I'm from Singapore, where you know, it's very developed, you know, everything's organized. And then before that, I was living in Shanghai, also another developed country. And then you come to Hanoi and you're like, where are the pavements, right? Where do you walk? Right. And where do you push a stroller? So I remember very clearly, I was talking to my mom, video calling, and she was like, why are there bikes and cars going past you? Where are you? And I'm like, I'm on the road. She's like, why are you on the road with, you know, your stroller? And I said, that's the only place I can be. And I said, and she's like, what? Like, to her, it's a shock, you know, for us. Like I said, you know, you've heard of places that are not developed, but I guess for me, I didn't realize to what extent it was.
What's the biggest piece of advice you would have for someone that's planning to move here?
Right, that's a big question. I would say, if you haven't been to Asia or Vietnam before, I would recommend them to be open-minded and be flexible if you're a guy who is always stable, if you're a person who always like things should be just right the way it is, this is not a place for you. But if you're flexible, if you're open-minded, I think Vietnam is a great country with great opportunities. I think this city, Hanoi, or the country will have many surprises for you, as long as you're open-minded.
Come in with no expectations.
Okay.
Especially if you come from a very developed country, come in with an open mind, because culturally it's very different, and they are still developing in many ways. So you need to be very patient, especially in processes. It might not make sense, but that's how. And as even if you get angry and frustrated, there's no other way about it. So you need to just be a bit more open to that. I guess that's my advice for that. Yeah.
Advice would you give somebody that is worried about moving here?
Oh, if someone was worried about moving here, I would tell them that they are not alone. Like, every other Westerner moving here is probably feeling the exact same things, like worry about, is my apartment going to be okay? Am I going to make friends? Am I going to, I don't know, anything. I've noticed living a nomad lifestyle of just like, whenever I would move to a new country or a new city, on the very first day, my mind creates all these thoughts of like, oh my God, was this the right decision? Should I have done this? Should I have gone somewhere else? And that's just, I guess, normal sort of like mind stuff. So like on the very first day, whenever I'm in a new place, on the very first day, I will just go out on like a really long walk, like walk all around the area and just like use the exercise of the walk to relax myself, but also to just get a feeling of my bearings. Find a rhythm. Like if you're going to live here, then you want to have your things. Like maybe you have like a favorite coffee place, or like you have your gym you want to go to, or if you like the cinema, just like go to the cinema. Do things that will make you feel relaxed. And also decorate your hotel room or your apartment. When I moved into my studio, it was clean and it was renovated, but it was super bare. There was like no there's no character, there's no plants. So I just decorated this stuff around the apartment.
Nice.
Well, I think that Vietnamese people tend to be shy in the beginning, so you need to earn their trust,
Okay.
and it takes time to build a relationship with them.
Okay.
So when I tried to talk to my students, first of all, and my colleagues, the Vietnamese, they were just keeping it through distance.
Yes.
And then I started like hanging out with them, and I saw a totally different character. But it took time, because it's just the language barrier, culture barrier, and all this stuff.
Okay.
So it's very important to be patient and try to understand the culture and try to kind of like search for mutual interests between you and your Vietnamese colleagues.
Okay.
Because I see some foreigners who just stay in a bubble.
Okay.
And exactly.
Okay.
So I think this kind of approach prevents you from feeling the total experience.
Yep.
Which is literally learning about the culture, the language, and living here, trying food, and definitely traveling.
Yes.
Like one of the advice that you guys need to travel as much as you could on motorbikes, but definitely you need to wear full face helmet.
I'll be doing that.
Yeah, because a lot of people actually get accidents here. It's very famous country for getting accidents. And a lot of people, unfortunately, they lose their lives on the road, just for accidents. Even it's not your fault.
Yeah.
It just happens out of nowhere.
Terrifying.
Yeah, that's why you just need to learn how to drive in Hanoi.
Okay.
And I know like some people follow the traffic, but they find the others don't follow the traffic, but try to be on the safe side and follow literally the flow, like go with the flow,
Is there another method to make friends if, like, say you were a solo woman without kids or?
Well, there's HIWA.
Oh, what's that?
That's Hanoi International Women's Association.
Okay.
Even though it says Women's Association, it's open to all expats.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it's
Is it a Facebook group or?
They have a Facebook group, yes, and they have like monthly coffee mornings for new members, and then different activities, different interest groups. Like you can learn to play mahjong, you can play different things like French language immersion.
That's cool.
So this is it's an area where you could go for. I did that the first time. I'm a member as well currently, so. It is nice, to meet other expats, to see what, and it's a great networking session as well.
I hope you guys loved this vlog. I hope it helped you or inspired you to come to Vietnam. It truly is a wonderful place, especially for cost of living. Obviously, that was covered. People are wonderful, even though there is a bit of a language barrier. I think one thing that wasn't mentioned is how beautiful this country is. Like anywhere I go here in Vietnam, I'm blown away by how stunning it is. From the mountains of Sapa to the beaches in Mui Ne. The cities are bustling. There's something for everyone here, and I think it's definitely worth traveling to for anyone. And I think it's so scary as a Westerner to think about going to Asia and just how different it would be culturally, but I think once you're here, just like they said, come with an open mind and an open heart, and it's amazing.